Have you ever considered what makes people successful in their personal and professional lives? It's not always about being the smartest or the most talented. It's about something more nuanced, something called emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, a term coined by psychologists, refers to the ability to recognize, understand, manage, and use emotions effectively. It's an essential skill that allows us to navigate our lives, both personally and professionally, with empathy, self-awareness, and authenticity. This concept was popularized by psychologist Daniel Goleman in his groundbreaking book, Emotional Intelligence. Goleman suggests that emotional intelligence is a more accurate predictor of success in life than traditional intelligence measures. He proposed 5 components of emotional intelligence that we will be exploring in this series: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Let's start with self-awareness. It's about understanding your emotions, your strengths and weaknesses, and how they affect the people around you. It's about being honest with yourself and acknowledging your feelings rather than ignoring them. Next, we have self-regulation. This component is about managing your emotions in healthy ways, taking initiative, following through on commitments, and adapting to changing circumstances. Then comes motivation. This isn't about external motivations like money or recognition, but rather about having a passion for what you do, pursuing goals with energy and persistence, and striving to be better. Empathy, the 4th component, involves understanding other people's emotions, developing an appreciation for how they feel, and responding appropriately. It's about seeing the world from other people's perspectives, not just your own. Lastly, we have social skills. This is about building good relationships, working well in teams, and managing conflicts in a constructive way. It's about being able to influence and inspire others. Each of these components has a profound impact on our lives, shaping our interactions, our decisions, and ultimately, our success. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into these 5 components, which might just be the key to unlocking your full potential. The first component of emotional intelligence is self-awareness, but what does it really mean? Well, imagine that you are a ship sailing on the vast ocean of life, and your emotions are the winds that guide your journey. Self-awareness is like having an accurate compass and a clear map. It's the ability to recognize and understand your own emotions, to know why you feel what you feel, and how these emotions affect your thoughts and actions. Now, why is it important? Think about it. We are emotional beings. Our feelings often drive our decisions, our responses, and even how we perceive the world around us. If we are not aware of our emotions, we can be like a ship adrift, swayed by the whims of the wind, with no control over where we are heading. But when we understand our emotions, when we know what triggers them and how they influence us, we can begin to navigate our lives with intention and purpose. We can steer our ship in the direction we choose rather than being at the mercy of the winds. Self-awareness is not just about recognizing emotions as they arise. It is also about understanding the impact of these emotions on our lives. For example, do you ever wonder why certain situations make you feel anxious? Or why you feel joy when you engage in certain activities? Understanding these patterns can help us make choices that lead to more positive outcomes, and avoid situations that trigger negative emotions. But how do we cultivate self-awareness? It's a journey of introspection and honesty. It requires us to take a step back, to observe our emotions without judgment, and to ask ourselves why we feel the way we do. It's about acknowledging our feelings, accepting them, and understanding their source. So the next time you feel a strong emotion, take a moment. Ask yourself, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling this way? How is this emotion influencing my thoughts and actions? This practice of self-inquiry can help you develop a deeper understanding of your emotional landscape and empower you to navigate it with greater skill and confidence. Mastering self-awareness helps us understand not only our own emotions but also their influence on our lives. This is the first step towards emotional intelligence, a journey that enables us to live more fulfilling, authentic, and empowered lives. Now that we understand our emotions, how do we control them? Great question. Let's dive into self-regulation, a key aspect of emotional intelligence. Self-regulation is about managing our emotions in a way that allows us to stay focused on our goals. It's not about suppressing our feelings but rather learning how to handle them in a healthy and constructive manner. When we talk about self-regulation, we're really talking about emotional control. It's about keeping our emotions in check so that we can remain goal-oriented, even in the face of setbacks. It's the ability to bounce back after a disappointment, to keep our cool when we're under pressure, to stay motivated even when things aren't going our way. Think of self-regulation as your emotional thermostat. Just like a thermostat controls the temperature in a room, self-regulation allows you to control your emotional climate. When the heat of anger or frustration starts to rise, self-regulation steps in to cool things down. One way to practice self-regulation is through mindfulness exercises. These exercises help us stay present and focused, keeping our negative feelings at bay. For instance, stop and take a few deep breaths when you're feeling overwhelmed, or come up with a mantra or uplifting statement to recite when you're facing difficulties. Another key part of self-regulation is understanding the triggers that can lead to emotional outbursts or negative feelings. By identifying these triggers, we can better manage our emotional responses and stay focused on our goals. Self-regulation also involves understanding our emotional reactions and learning how to respond in a more balanced and controlled way. This doesn't mean we should ignore or suppress our emotions. On the contrary, we need to acknowledge them, understand them, and then decide how to act in a way that aligns with our values and long-term objectives. In summary, self-regulation is about managing our emotions to stay focused on our goals, especially during challenging times. It's about keeping our emotional thermostat in check, practicing mindfulness, understanding our emotional triggers, and responding in a balanced and controlled way. Remember, controlling our emotions doesn't mean suppressing them, but rather managing them in a healthy way. Opening. How can understanding and controlling our emotions help us achieve our goals? Let's delve into the heart of motivation and empathy, two crucial components of emotional intelligence. Motivation is about harnessing our emotions to drive us towards our goals. It's about understanding what truly matters to us, what excites us, what makes us strive for more. When we are aware of our emotional triggers, we can use them to fuel our drive and ambition. Consider a goal that you've set for yourself. Now ask yourself, why is this goal important to you? What feelings are driving you towards this goal? By understanding the emotional roots of our motivations, we can establish a stronger, more resilient drive towards our goals. But motivation isn't just about understanding our own emotions. It's also about being empathetic, understanding the emotions of others. Empathy allows us to perceive the intentions and feelings of those around us, creating stronger and more meaningful connections. Think about a time when you really felt understood by someone else. How did it make you feel? Valued? Seen? Now imagine if you could make others feel the same way. By actively listening, asking open-ended questions, and putting ourselves in the shoes of others, we can become more empathetic. This understanding of others' emotions and motivations can lead to better teamwork, stronger relationships, and a more harmonious environment. It's about creating a space where everyone feels heard and understood, where everyone's motivations are taken into account. So, in essence, motivation and empathy are about understanding our own emotions and the emotions of others. By harnessing this understanding, we can channel our emotions towards achieving our goals and building stronger relationships. Remember, our emotions are powerful tools. When used correctly, they can drive us towards success and foster deeper, more meaningful connections with those around us. Closing. By being motivated and empathetic, we can achieve our goals and build stronger, healthier relationships. Finally, how do we use our understanding and control of emotions to interact effectively with others? This brings us to the fifth and final component of emotional intelligence: social skills. Social skills encompass our abilities to navigate and engage in social interactions. They allow us to form connections, build relationships, and work harmoniously with others. But how does emotional intelligence tie into this? Well, the first four components of emotional intelligence lay the foundation for effective social skills. Self-awareness gives us insight into our own emotions and how they can influence our interactions. Self-regulation provides us with the ability to manage these emotions, preventing them from derailing our social interactions. Motivation keeps us driven and empathetic towards the goals and feelings of others. And empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, is perhaps the most direct link to social skills. It allows us to read and respond to the emotions of others, fostering understanding and mutual respect. Now, how can we apply this knowledge to improve our social skills? First, we need to listen actively. This means not just hearing what others are saying, but truly understanding their message and their emotions. This will allow us to respond appropriately and build stronger connections. Second, we need to communicate effectively. This means expressing our thoughts and emotions in a clear, respectful manner, and being open to the thoughts and emotions of others. Finally, we need to handle social conflicts constructively. This involves understanding the perspectives of all parties, managing our own emotions, and working towards a resolution that benefits everyone involved. In a nutshell, emotional intelligence equips us with the ability to understand and manage both our own emotions and the emotions of others. By applying these skills in our social interactions, we can form more meaningful connections, work more effectively in teams, and ultimately lead more fulfilling lives. Mastering these social skills allows us to build stronger, more meaningful connections with the people around us. To wrap up, emotional intelligence is more than a mere concept. It's an essential skill, a blend of self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. It's about recognizing our own emotions, managing them effectively, understanding others, and fostering healthy relationships. These 5 components are the pillars that can significantly influence every aspect of our lives. Remember, emotional intelligence isn't about being emotional, it's about being intelligent with our emotions. So how will you use your emotional intelligence to enhance your life?